Hi everybody, this is Tina Plackinger. Welcome to my channel where I read daily devotions out of my daily devotional called Treading on Serpents. I thought I would do this one before I go to work today instead of waiting and doing it later. So anyways, this one is kind of long, but it's special and only I can read it, so I have the honors. And for me to wear my scrubs is so much easier than trying to find something to wear. I think a lot of my subscribers know that my home is in Georgia, but I've been here in Chicago for a little over a year helping my mother. And very soon I will be going back and I'll be able to get some of my clothes. What turned out to be a 6-week or 2-month visit turned out to be, over 12 months. So anyways, wearing the scrubs makes it so much easier for me, and thank you for being okay with it. At least they're not colorful and they can't trigger anything, hopefully. April 7th. I start this with, I think it was a quote from Rocky Balboa. I think it was a quote from Rocky 6, the very last one. You've got to take the hits and keep getting up. You've got to keep moving forward. I started my bodybuilding career watching all the Rocky sequels over and over for inspiration. I trained in a huge gym where 5-gallon buckets were strategically placed to catch the water whenever it rained. It was nothing fancy, just old school, hardcore weight training. We didn't wear spandex, makeup, all that. We wore cotton sweats and knit caps. I jumped rope in my basement while I washed my sweat clothes, and I let the cold rinse water stay in the sink tubs for soaking my shins afterwards. I would sit up on the wash machine and put my legs in the tubs of cold rinse water to reduce the inflammation. Those were the days when I had nothing but heart. As I went from winning state competitions to national titles, I turned professional and won the world championships. Watching Rocky Balboa was a huge part of my success. Ironically, 15 years later, around the same time the last Rocky movie was in the making, which I didn't know at the time because I was isolated. I found this out afterwards. Ironically, 15 years later, around the time the last Rocky movie was in the making, I was being targeted and held hostage near the Long Beach, California junkyards. While street gangs worked on stealing my storage unit, including my collection of movies, awards, and all my bodybuilding memorabilia, I would interact daily with a group of 20-some people that lived in the area. They pretended to be friendly while they had their eyes set on my material valuables as well as on my soul. Phonies, gang stalkers. They lived in warehouses and containers. One couple lived on a trucking yard in the cab of a broken down big rig. One night, I came to my senses and realized that they wanted to turn me into a desperate woman. I was down there long enough to watch them do it to other women who turned tricks for a hit of crack or a line of crystal meth. It had been 2 years of taking their punches and getting back up. Each beating was worse than the last one. Setups. And I had lost everything, including a tooth. I was hearing underlying messages from the locals that I had overstayed my welcome and that it was high time for me to get rolling. Oh, they had gotten everything. Being tough with a high threshold for pain was great for winning bodybuilding championships. But I was out of my element. Taking too many punches would leave these haters no other choice than to murder me. They could do it too, by drugging us, me and my dogs, by drugging us and setting my trailer on fire with all 3 of us locked in it. We could easily be drugged and thrown into a container where nobody could hear us for miles, or sent off in the back of a big rig for parts unknown to never be seen again. For less drama, they could simply dig a hole and throw us in it, or drop us into the nearby ocean with God knows what else is out there. These were all longshoremen, and this was a very industrial area. Hell, they could burn me at the stake and nobody would have talked. Anything was possible in Hell's Gateway. They had already drugged me and my dogs, while causing us several close calls that could have left any one of us maimed for life. Through all their efforts, they never got what they really wanted. My soul. I never sold it, and I never gave it away. Every day, I thank God that I am blessed and that I can never be cursed. To this day, I do not feel badly about myself. I feel sad that those creeps do what they do to people not as blessed as me. Those men, women, and children who never make it out of there because they do not get back up. The scripture today is from Proverbs 24:16. For though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again. But the wicked stumble when calamity strikes. I opened it up with, you got to take the hits and keep getting up. You got to keep moving forward. And I close with, I feel sad for those creeps who do those things to people. Those who never make it out because they do not get back up. We get knocked down a lot in this system. It's really important that you get back up. Don't stay down for the count. You got to get back up. We stay in the fight. We live one day at a time. We focus on Jesus. And we keep our faith. Together, we can do this thing. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for the honors of being able to read some of my story to you. God bless you. I'll see you soon.